Cultivation and practice should align with nature. Xiefeng. November 7, 2009. Preface. True wisdom harmonizes with nature. Humans follow the earth follows the heavens follow the Tao, and the Tao manifests in nature. The highest rulers are so unobtrusive that people barely know they exist. When accomplishments are made and tasks fulfilled, people say, this came about naturally. A person of great virtue aligns with the Tao. Thus, the sage discards extremism, excess, and arrogance. The sage practices non-action. The Tao is esteemed, virtue is honored, yet they do not demand anything and always act naturally. The Great Way is simple, yet people prefer shortcuts. These are the words of Laozi in the Tao Te Ching. Let me elaborate on their essential meaning. True wisdom aligns with nature and unfolds effortlessly. Humans live according to the laws of the earth. The earth operates according to the laws of the solar system. The solar system adheres to the laws of the Tao, which manifests through nature. The supreme and most revered greatest creator is formless and shapeless, beyond human comprehension. The most profound laws govern all things effortlessly, unseen by humanity. When wishes are fulfilled, dreams realized, and goals achieved, people say, it happened naturally. The highest virtue is rooted in the Tao. The wise avoid extremes, greed, and excessive measures. The enlightened live in a state of natural non-action, refraining from forced endeavors. The greatest creator and the sage do not govern through commands, they allow things to follow their natural course. The most wondrous paths are simple, yet people prefer shortcuts. With these insights from Laozi, let us explore how Life Genuine members should cultivate themselves. The essence of nature. Laozi's teaching that the Tao manifests in nature implies that nature itself embodies the greatest creator. This means the way, which governs all things in the universe, unfolds according to the will of the greatest creator. All things and phenomena that grow, decay, operate, and evolve in accordance with natural laws are part of nature. If the Tao manifests in nature, then anything that contradicts the natural processes of growth, decay, functioning, and evolution is unnatural and contrary to the way. For humans, being born, growing, aging, and dying in accordance with natural processes is natural. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking are natural. Working at sunrise, resting at sunset, eating, drinking, sleeping, and making love are all natural. Expressing love and affection is especially natural. The human body is exquisitely designed, as is the natural world. The harmony between the human body and nature is also meticulously crafted. For instance, human ears hear only sounds between 20 and 20,000 Hz because sounds beyond this range could harm us. Similarly, our eyes perceive light between 400 and 700 nanometers. Perceiving light beyond this range would make survival difficult. These limitations are not restrictions but protections. Cultivation and practice aligned with nature. To live and cultivate in alignment with nature means to follow the way of the greatest creator. What does this mean? It means living, speaking, and acting according to the design and principles of nature. Eat when it's time to eat, drink when it's time to drink, sleep when it's time to sleep, relax when it's time for leisure, work when it's time to work, and indulge when it's time to enjoy. Why were humans placed on earth? It is to live honestly and simply as humans, not to seek to become gods, Buddhas, immortals, ghosts, demons, monsters, spirits, dogs, pigs, or any other beings. Our task is to be good humans, to express and perfect human nature. When human nature is perfected, our mission is complete, and we can ascend to the next level. If we fail to be good humans, the foundation is unstable, and aspiring to sainthood or Buddhahood violates nature and the way of the greatest creator. To go against the way of the greatest creator is to abandon the hope of entering the greatest creator's kingdom. Laozi observed this fault thousands of years ago, the Great Way is simple, yet people prefer shortcuts. What are these shortcuts? They involve ignoring natural laws and seeking unnatural ways to cultivate, attempting to regulate the Ren and Du channels, open the mysterious gate, develop occult techniques and supernatural abilities, retreat into isolation, refine elixirs, practice out-of-body experiences, or connect with higher spiritual beings. Why do people seek shortcuts? Because they don't want to live as humans, they want to become immortals, Buddhas, demons, spirits, or ghosts. In short, they are driven by excessive desire, which, as the Buddha said, stems from greed, anger, and ignorance. Rejecting what the greatest creator naturally provides while pursuing what he does not leads to a deviant path. For example, staying awake at midnight to practice certain techniques instead of sleeping, avoiding regular meals to practice fasting or breatharianism, suppressing natural affection between men and women, abandoning joyful communal life to retreat into solitude, abstaining from natural foods like ginger, onions, garlic, and peppers to achieve some imagined pure, fragrant immortal body. All of these go against nature and the way. There is no need for lofty ambitions to succeed as a human being, freeing oneself from worldly attachments is enough to earn recognition. There are no miraculous shortcuts to the way, simply following the natural order leads to sanctity. To become celestial beings or Buddhas, there is no need for extraordinary methods, perfecting one's human nature suffices. Going against natural instincts is walking against the way, a person of great virtue follows only the way. May all Life Achanuan members cultivate themselves naturally, practicing in harmony with the way. Elementary Cultivation. Xiefeng. March 26, 2004. Natural non-action. Deal with the complex and ever-changing social affairs and personal life with the Taoist heart, Buddhist heart, and Christ heart. As long as you act naturally and without effort, there will be no obstacles, no stagnation. Whether it's moving forward, stopping, retreating, or taking a detour, it all depends on the various factors of the environment at that time and place. Do not force or go against the flow. Always maintain harmony in good relations with society, the masses, friends and family, and nature. Because of non-action, you do not pursue anything, do not want to get anything, so there is no suffering, no trouble. You act accordingly, stop accordingly, create accordingly, and roam freely, showing a quality that is transcendent of the material world, yet does everything. If the masses need you to be the president, you will be the president. If society needs you to be a cleaner, you will be a cleaner. If you can become a billionaire, you will not refuse. If you are a farmer, you will willingly accept it. If your spouse wants to divorce, let them divorce. If your child can go to college, let them go. If they can't go to college, let them do something else. Today there are delicacies, just eat. Tomorrow there is only pickles, steamed buns, and plain water, and there is no resentment, melancholy, and comparison with others. Today there is a luxury villa, just live in it. Tomorrow you only live in a simple thatched house, and you are also content. People praise you, adore you, and there is no joy in your heart. If people scold you and belittle you, you will not feel resentment. In this way, all threats and temptations, defiance and poverty will not be able to bother you. Over time, you will have a clear mind and wisdom will be born. Just like a star, no matter where it orbits, it always shines and heats as usual. And like a diamond, no matter where it is set, it always refracts a colorful halo. Do not use schemes. The mind is like a clear day, clear and discernible, and wisdom is like a rolling river, never stagnant. All schemes are traps woven by the mind, and in the end, they trap oneself. The success of the scheme is beneficial to oneself in the short term on the surface, but in essence, it hurts oneself in the end. As long as the heart is bright and not stained with dust, there is no need to use schemes, all things can still go smoothly. Do not make promises. For people, life is impermanent. There are unexpected winds and clouds in the sky, and there are sudden blessings and misfortunes in people. There are unforeseen circumstances in the plan, and there are unreachable places in the force. You never know what will happen tomorrow. Before becoming a celestial, you cannot control the environment, manage yourself, predict the future, and the promised wish may not be realized. If the promise cannot be realized, you can only find an excuse to replace it. Excuses are lies, and lies can only deceive for a while, and will eventually be exposed. In this way, your promise becomes a shackle and becomes a mental burden, which is harmful to others and yourself. Do not rely on power. The burning power is like burning charcoal, which will eventually turn into ashes, and it is like wind and clouds, changing at any time. Power is the most unreliable and most dangerous backing. Once you rely on power, you will be involuntary, and you will lose the truth. Do not accept favors. Favor is the biggest debt in life. Favor is like a big mountain, always pressing on the heart. A drop of kindness should be repaid with a gushing spring. If you don't repay it, you are a villain. If you repay your favor with revenge, you are a beast. Once you receive someone else's favor, you will never be able to repay it in your life, your heart will not be calm, and you will not be able to have a free and easy life. No ambition. Act and speak according to the Tao every day. Rise at dawn, think, see, listen, and act according to the Tao, and rest at dusk. Cultivate yourself and perceive the Tao. Apart from the desire to become a celestial through the Tao, there are no other desires. As for striving for the country, making the nation strong, glorifying the ancestors, and for future generations, etc., these are all worldly thoughts of ordinary people and should not be imitated. Do not worry about tomorrow. Living only in the present moment, those who spend their lives preparing for their coffins and choosing their graves are severe pessimists. Living today worrying about tomorrow, they will have no joy or happiness in their lives, they are slaves to life. Tomorrow never ends, as long as people are alive, there is always another day, so there is no peace in life. Without peace, it's hard to go far, and without peace, it's hard to perceive the Tao. No thoughts of success or failure, no desire to gain or lose. If a person cannot have a healthy, free life, and ultimately cannot become a celestial, then your success and gains in life are failures and losses. On the contrary, if you finally become a celestial, then the failures and losses in life are successes and gains. Therefore, the common sense of success, failure, gain, and loss are just the standards of ordinary people. You just follow the Tao, every word you say, every action you take, is like a river flowing downstream, clouds drifting with the wind, it is natural, it should be, do not have the idea of gaining, success. At this time, you have the Buddha nature and the Taoist heart. 10,000 laws return to the Tao, return to one, as long as you grasp one, you will have 9,999. What is one? One is the Holy Spirit, the Dharma, the Tao, the great law of non-action, it is the original appearance of things, the nature, it is the source, without any adornment, without any embellishment, and without the influence of human thoughts, emotions, or will. One is fruits fall off when ripe, a canal formed when water comes. One is without distinction of good and evil, right and wrong, beauty and ugliness, good and bad. One is like the sun in the sky, the moon sheds clear light, the cloud drops sweet dew, the sea gives birth to waves. One is without thoughts of success or failure, without desire to gain or lose. Once you grasp one, you will not judge all things and their phenomena with you will not be confused by the phenomena of things, you will know the source of things, you will know the Tathagata, you can know the past and future of things, you can get rid of the interference of the world, and reach the other shore directly. Once you grasp one, you can become a celestial, become a Buddha, you can travel through time and space, and gain eternity. Do not compare with others. Between people, just like their appearances, there is no absolute similarity. Not only are their innate nature, appearance, temperament, character, and wisdom different, but also their life paths are different. You can't walk the path of others. He is him, you are you. He has been promoted, made money, became an expert, went abroad, drove a high-end car, his wife wears gold and silver, his children go to prestigious universities, that is his business. If you compare, you will be endlessly troubled. If you imitate, you will lose yourself. So, in everything, not only should you not compare yourself with others, but you should also always ask yourself, who am I? Only in this way can you dispel the heavy fog and see the light of your true nature. Otherwise, you will live in vain for a lifetime and be drowned in the dust of the world. Seek lightness, not intensity. Eating light food does not hurt the spleen and stomach and can keep you healthy. So, do not drink strong tea, strong alcohol, strong coffee, do not overeat. Even if it is sour, sweet, bitter, spicy, salty, it should also be light. Living lightly, your muscles and bones are happy. So, do not work for a long time, walk for a long time, squat for a long time, stand for a long time, lie down for a long time, stand for a long time, watch for a long time, listen for a long time, gaze for a long time, think for a long time. Do not seek luxury and comfort in life, only seek appropriateness. Friendship is understated, as the wise say. The friendship of a gentleman is as light as water. Friendships that are light last forever, while intense friendships can turn sour in an instant. Light friends supplement the heart, intense friends hurt the heart. Seeking lightness in everything will reduce desires, and less desires will reduce troubles. Less troubles will allow you to calm down, and then you can gain wisdom, and then you can perceive the Tao and become a celestial. No leisure or busyness. Like the sun and the moon running, not fast or slow, not busy or idle, get up and do things at sunrise, and rest at sunset. Follow nature, everything is natural, everywhere is natural. In this way, all limbs and bones, the internal organs, blood and meridians, will run in order with everything in the universe. You will be healthy and long-lived and not sick, you will be peaceful and spiritual. The receiving ability and transmitting ability of your physiological field will be strong, and it will be easier to connect with the energy of the negative universe, laying the physiological foundation for transcending time and space and becoming a. Do not care about what is left behind. The desire for one's name to live forever, being condemned by posterity, or to become the role model of future generations, etc., are all worldly thoughts of ordinary people. They are the fetters and shackles of life. If you are obsessed with gaining fame, you won't be able to live a carefree and easy life. Just follow your path, and let the common folks comment as they please on what is left behind. No cleverness. Great wisdom appears foolish, the highest wisdom is formless. Displaying cleverness is, in fact, foolish. Cleverness is but a minor skill, a trick of the common folk. The more cleverness you possess, the less wisdom you have. Cleverness can lead to one's own downfall, thus, it's better not to be clever. Do not speak more than necessary. To those with high wisdom, your words are nonsense. To those with low wisdom, your words are profound and difficult to understand. To those with equal wisdom, your words are unnecessary. Once the words are spoken, they can easily be twisted by those who love to nitpick and slander you. Therefore, it is best not to speak more than necessary, so that you can avoid disputes, get rid of troubles, increase wisdom, and make progress. Do not fear death. From a natural point of view, physical death is a necessary thing. Since it is inevitable and unavoidable, whether death comes sooner or later, it is still death, so what is there to fear? From a secular point of view, death is a self-cleaning of garbage. When your living is not beneficial to relatives, others, society, living only adds to the burden of relatives and becomes a burden to society. Insisting on living is like occupying a pit and not defecating, which is selfish and immoral behavior. From a philosophical point of view, death is life, life is death, without death there is no life, without life there is no death. If the body does not die, the soul cannot be liberated. death itself is a kind of transcendence, is another kind of life, is happiness, what is there to fear? From a material point of view, matter is indestructible and can only transform from one state to another. At this time, you have become a god, what is there to fear about death? At this time, you have become a god, what is there to fear about death? Be as wood and stone. Wood and stone, receiving the essence of the sun and moon and the spirit of heaven and earth, remain fearless of the sun and rain, wind and frost. They observe the chirping of insects and birds, the shouting of people and horses with a cold eye and remain unmoved. If one constantly remembers the great affairs of the world and cares about the suffering of ordinary people everywhere, then there will be no peace in one's heart. Without peace, how can one perceive the Tao? From a higher dimensional perspective, everything in the three-dimensional space is like colorful bubbles that disappear in an instant. What is the need to worry about, save, grasp, or fight for what vanish in a moment? Without a heart like wood and stone, becoming a celestial being is like a bubble, a shadow. Be as clouds. Unrestrained, shapeless, without honor or disgrace, without trouble or annoyance, drifting with the wind, not lingering in any beautiful scenery. When there is water, it falls down, nourishes all things. When it meets clouds of opposite charge, it draws a lightning bolt, sounds a thunder, decorates the sky. Otherwise, borrow the heat of the sun and disappear into the vast universe. Be as ice. When things meet fire, they burn. When they meet heat, they rot. When they meet cold, they last. When they meet ice, they are constant. If you can reach the state of heart like ice, feelings like water, there will be no strong feelings of love, hate, and separation. Don't be afraid of ordinary people seeing you as a cold-blooded animal, an inert gas, a weird person. Be as water. The best is like water. I am formless, but can become any shape. I am weak, but can create huge waves. I have no desire, but can nourish all things. I am pure, but can wash away all dirt. I am humble, but all things have to rely on me. No opponents, no enemies. Do not fight with heaven, do not fight with earth, do not fight with people. Be a part of the harmonious nature. Treat insults, defamation, slander, and spreading rumors as plants treat lightning, storms, severe cold and heat, without being moved, without refuting, without arguing, without reasoning. Treat harm, traps, exploitation, and oppression like cliffs treat tsunamis, the earth treats earthquakes, mountains treat volcanic eruptions, and rivers treat reverse stone flows. Just ignore, do not fight back, do not get angry, do not retaliate. Why not fight with heaven? Because people are just a tiny particle in the sky and the universe, pitiful and tiny. Although people call themselves the spirit of all things, they do not know how high the sky is, how big the universe is, where they come from, where they are going, when they will get sick, when they will die. We can't control ourselves, can't manage ourselves, how can we fight with heaven? Why not fight with the earth? Everything on the earth is interconnected, relies on each other, causes and affects each other, and benefits each other. They are mutually beneficial biological plant chain, a perfect system. Any artificial transformation will take care of this and lose the other, destroying the ecological balance inside nature. You use pesticides to kill insects, which means that birds are gone, mountains become terraces and floods will flood, grasslands become farmland and dust fills the sky, deserts become oases and it will bring more severe heat and cold, pollute rivers, lakes and seas and diseases will be rampant, pollute the air and it is difficult to see white clouds and blue sky. Fighting with the earth is equivalent to digging your own grave and turning heaven into hell. Why not fight with people? Wronging others is a disaster, forgiving people is a blessing, confronting with people with no Tao in their heart, the result is self-harm. Those who fight people will be fought by people in the end, those who play people will be played by people in the end, those who kill people will be killed by people in the end, those who harm people will be harmed by people in the end, those who scold people will be scolded by people in the end. Gain is loss, loss is gain. An iron law in the universe is, there is cause and effect, there is fruit and cause, there is loss and gain, there is gain and loss. You don't need to fight with people, just let others bully you, just like Jesus said, if someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn the other cheek to him too. Ignorant people are confused people, worldly people are scheming people, mortals are smart people, sages are wise people. Most of those who fight people are worldly people, and the final outcome of worldly people is very sad. It is not necessary to argue with them about merits and demerits, gains and losses. In addition, those who fight people have restless hearts, and it is difficult for them to perceive the Tao without a calm heart. If you do not retaliate after being harmed, there will be no worries. Without worries, one can be calm. Calmness brings peace, balance, and clarity. One can perceive the Tao, pursue the Tao, attain the Tao. Attaining the Tao can become a celestial, can enjoy eternity. Why fight with people? The retribution of cause and effect is precise to the smallest detail. Do not fight with people, just follow the Tao, leave the rest to the Tao to manage. The Tao is very fair and will not wrong people. 21. Do not show ability. Ability refers to talent, intelligence, capability, brilliance, energy, function. The more ability a person has, the higher their value. Ability is like a colorful gem, it must be hidden and not shown off. You should let the world see that you are no different from others. Even if you have the talent of strategizing and gaining a decisive victory 1,000 miles away and an ability to rule the country, you should also look at the world with cold eyes. Once your abilities are revealed, you will become a slave to your own abilities, and you will be enslaved by relatives, others, and society. You will lose control over yourself, and you will have no leisure time to cultivate and improve yourself. Of course, this is not to say that you should not use your ability or ignore your relatives and friends. If you want to help people, it is best to do it in a way that people can't see or touch. Mobilize the energy of the negative universe, make their work smooth, make their family harmonious and happy, make their life safe. Helping people, and not letting people know, is the way to cultivate one's virtue. It is particularly important to emphasize that during your cultivation, self-improvement, perceiving Tao, and attainment of the Tao, your body is undergoing changes, especially as your mind power becomes stronger and stronger, purer and purer, closer and closer to one, like a piece of ordinary iron. Through continuous magnetization, the molecules inside are constantly arranged in one direction, gradually generating attraction and repulsion. At this time it is not a piece of ordinary iron, but a magnet. Similarly, during your cultivation, there will be some special functions that you can't imagine happening on your body, such as walking on the water surface, riding the clouds and mist, passing through the wall, moving things with your mind, which are all child's play. Invisibility, birth escape, transformation is not difficult. You hold an iron rod in your hand, let it bend, it will bend, let it straight, it will straight. You see a person, let him go, he will go, let him stop, he will stop, let him do what, he will do what. You really understand what is called. Do whatever you want. Once you start to develop certain abilities, you must constantly remind yourself that you have a long journey ahead before you can transform into a celestial being. If you let your worldly desires take over and show off your abilities to the world at this point, you will deeply regret it. Many people fail at this stage in the process of becoming a celestial being. As for the reason, it is a secret of heaven that I cannot reveal. Because once revealed, it would be like leading a wolf into a flock of sheep, causing disaster to both humans and the celestial world. The higher the ability, the greater the destructive power. Here, I want to emphasize once again that we should not cure diseases for others. As your abilities grow stronger, you will find it effortless to cure diseases, be it fractures, cancer, leukemia, or AIDS, even easier than a breath, and you could even resurrect the recently deceased. So why can't we cure diseases for others? Because all diseases, whether inherited, acquired, caused by accidents, or infectious, are self-inflicted. This is an order in what seems to be chaos. Accident, coincidence, misfortune, and ill fate. You reap what you sow, and there is a reason behind every event in the world. The retribution of cause and effect is an iron law in the universe. There is a cause for every effect, and an effect for every cause. The bigger the cause, the bigger the effect, the smaller the cause, the smaller the effect. There is no effect without a cause, and no cause without an effect. Everything is inevitable, there is absolutely no accident. What we call an accident is the understanding we get when we can't find the cause behind it, which is a mistaken and helpless understanding. Everything in the universe is orderly, and order is inevitability. So where is the cause of the disease? Hereditary diseases, congenital diseases, are caused by our ancestors. The ancestors. Defiance of the Tao is the cause, and the suffering of the descendants is the effect. The previous generation planted trees, and the next generation enjoyed the shade. The previous generation committed sins, and the next generation suffered. How do diseases in real life come about? Overeating, irregular living, indulging in joy, exhausting labor, too much talk, worry, affection, desire, and greed can all lead to abnormal operation of certain organs and parts of the body, causing pain and disease. A small part of infectious diseases is caused by nature, and the vast majority are caused by society, and are also self-made by people. Air, flies, and mosquitoes themselves will not infect you with diseases. In general, 10% of diseases are caused by ancestors, 80% are self-made, 9% are collectively made by humans, and 1% are caused by order. Since the disease is self-made, people should suffer from the disease. Through the torment of disease, people can gain wisdom and know where they have gone too far and should stop. Through the torment of disease, people can reduce the heart of striving for fame and profit and increase the intention of transcending the mundane. Through the torment of disease, they can wake up the people around them and the world to prevent them from happening. If you use special functions to cure it, you will not achieve the above effects. In addition, suffering from disease is a form of repaying debts. If you have own heaven, own the earth, own people, own society, own nature, blaspheme the greatest creator and insult Buddha, you have to repay it. The more you suffer, the lighter your debt. The smoother and flatter your path to becoming a celestial. I say this, not to ask you not to treat the disease when you have it. When you have a disease, you not only need to treat it, but also need to treat it in time. You need to ask a doctor to treat it. The doctor treating diseases is in line with the Tao, but the more important thing is that you need to prevent it yourself and learn to keep in good health. 22. Pay attention to the micro, weak, and small. The micro world is larger, more complex, and stronger than the macro world. It's hard to understand the Tao without noticing the subtle. The concept of constant dripping wears away as stone sawing through wood with a rope are macroscopic, while the micro things and influences are invisible and intangible. A towering tree starts from a tiny sprout, a skyscraper starts from a pile of earth. Profound morality comes from every word and deed, every smile and movement. Disasters and blessings start from a thought in the heart. So don't seek the big, just seek the small. Don't seek the obvious, just seek the subtle. Don't seek the strong, just seek the weak. Don't seek the hard, just seek the soft. 23. Do your best. To cultivate to become a celestial, one must first cultivate to be a human. Human cultivation requires doing one's best. Doing one's best is for being free from cares and worries, and being free from cares and worries leads to becoming a celestial. The primary duty of doing one's best is to respect one's parents. It's hard to become a person without filial piety. You grew up sucking your parents' milk, and your parents poured all their heart and blood into your growth process. They were frightened for you and spent countless sleepless nights for you. The selflessness of human beings is most perfectly and vividly embodied in the way parents treat their children. Whether you want to cultivate to become a celestial to unite with Tao, to become a monk to cultivate to become a Buddha, to serve the country, or to make a career, whether you throw your head and shed blood for your children, or travel north and south for love and friendship, whether you stride in palaces and courtyards, or are stranded at the ends of the earth, you should first put your parents in your heart. Even if you have 1,000 reasons and 10,000 excuses, it's hard to avoid the blame and escape the sin of unfilial piety. Doing your best is not about quantity or quality, but about exerting your utmost effort. When your parents are alive, you should do your utmost to fulfill your filial duties. After your parents pass away, there should be no guilt or regret in your heart, and you can be free of worries, having fulfilled your obligations towards your parents. Respecting your parents is for the sake of upholding the Tao, regardless of your parents' attitude towards you, how much they love you, your economic situation, or the physical distance between you and your parents. The next priority is to raise your children. Children are an extension of yourself, and about 20% of a child's destiny is in the hands of their parents. Whether you planned well, hoped for, or were mindless and casual, once a child is born, you must take full responsibility until the child reaches the age of 18. If a son is not taught, it is the father's fault. If a daughter is not taught, it is the mother's laziness. You must give up your own leisure and entertainment time, the pursuit of fame and profit, and pour your heart and blood into the upbringing, training, and education of your children. Only in this way can you fulfill your obligations towards your children. The third duty is to do your best towards your spouse, siblings, relatives and friends, neighbors and society, plants and insects, birds and beasts, and livestock, so as to have no regrets in your heart. The fourth duty is to do your best for yourself. Before becoming you are after all a mortal with many desires. If you can recognize the harm of desire, it can be self-transformed. If you fail to recognize its harm and forcibly restrain it, it will backfire. For example, when your sexual desire is strong and you cannot calm down to practice cultivation, you might seek a prostitute to calm your body and mind. If you see others gambling and feel an itch in your heart, then go and gamble in a game and experience the feelings of self-blame, self-hate, and guilt when losing. If you find drinking interesting, then get drunk once until you vomit. If you find others playing mahjong interesting, then play it once all night until your face turns green, your muscles shake, and your whole body feels numb. If you feel that swearing is satisfying, then go ahead and swear once, regardless of the consequences, until people think you are vulgar and unbearable, and look at you with contempt. If you've heard that cockroach meat is delicious, then have a feast until you feel nauseous and want to vomit. Desire is very tempting before it is realized. Only after satisfaction will you find it tasteless, not valuable, not worth bothering about, wasting time, and wasting money. Only when you have done your best for yourself and feel that there is nothing to regret, can you be free from cares and worries, and finally reach the state of no self. Otherwise, with a self in your heart, you cannot enter high-level cultivation. While doing your best, you should learn to gradually give up. Analyze what factors consume your heart, life, harm your health, waste your time, waste your money, bind your freedom, and affect your development. Discard what is worthless, meaningless affairs, people, things, etiquette, traditions, habits, environments, bit by bit, gradually reduce. Affairs, like some meetings, people, like those complaining about the sky and people, love to complain, friends that love to talk about right and wrong, things, like non-practical decorations, etiquette, like birthday gifts, traditions, like celebrating holidays, habits, like smoking, environments, like too much noise, too much right and wrong, places where you don't like to live and work, etc., etc. Finally, you can reach the state of physical and mental freedom, unrestrained, despise the world, and yearn for the fairyland. Elementary self-improvement. Xiefeng. Up until now, we have come to understand the meaning of life and know that the ultimate goal of life is not to possess something in the human world, but to find a way to extend life to a higher space of existence. We have identified our position, understood what is inevitable, and what remains is the question of how to step by step move towards the goal. To reach the ideal other shore where the spirit enters the 1,000-year world and transforms into a celestial after the death of the body, we must practice self-improvement and self-cultivation. First is self-improvement. What is self-improvement? Self-improvement refers to recognizing, identifying, judging, and finding the best path. Practice means to adhere to and implement in daily life. Self-improvement is divided into 3 levels: elementary self-improvement, intermediate self-improvement, and advanced self-improvement. Elementary self-improvement. Elementary self-improvement mainly involves norms of daily behavior. These norms not only help us achieve a successful life in the secular society, leading us to health, wealth, and freedom, but also lay a solid foundation for intermediate self-improvement. If we can do this, there is no greater good. We know that our thinking, consciousness, and mind are connected with the negative universe, which contains positive spirits, evil spirits, kind spirits, and malevolent spirits. Whatever kind of thoughts we have, there will be spirits to match them. If we curse someone, that person will be unlucky. If we think of suicide, there will be corresponding spirits to encourage and help us commit suicide. Whatever we yearn for, it will come. Therefore, elementary self-improvement first requires us to clear our thoughts, especially to remove negative thoughts, and establish normal, positive, active, happy, and desirable thoughts. The best method is to pray to the Lord, the greatest Creator. Entering others' minds. Advanced Cultivation 1. Dayform Buddha. November 29, 2006. Cliff Baxter, a polygraph expert from the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, discovered the following secrets through experiments with plants. When water is poured onto the roots of plants, the plants exhibit emotional curves similar to those seen in humans when they are happy. When a threatening action is contemplated against a plant, the plant has already sensed it and shows signs of intense fear. When pretending to burn a plant's leaves, the plant shows no reaction. Plants also possess the ability to distinguish between true and false intentions. When live shrimp are thrown into boiling water in front of a plant, the plant immediately experiences extreme stress. This suggests that plants can communicate with each other and with other living beings. Plants have the capability to remember. Plants are capable of perceiving human psychological activities. This means plants have mental activities, they think and perceive various human emotions. Soviet scientist Viktor Pushkin conducted an experiment where he noted that when he talked about pleasant things, the plant's leaves would stand up and its petals would dance. When describing the cold of winter, the plant's leaves would shiver. When the mood shifted to sadness, the plant's leaves would droop. Experts have also found that plants can detect subtle psychological activities in humans. An electronics expert from West Paterson, New Jersey, named Pierre-Paul Savin discovered that plants react most strongly to cell death in their surrounding environment, showing continuous responses to human cell death. He also found that during his various experiments, he could send the simplest signals to plants and receive strong reactions. American scientist Marcel Vogel conducted numerous experiments on the telepathic communication between humans and plants. Vogel pointed out that, by human standards, plants are blind, deaf, and mute. However, humans can and do communicate emotionally with plants. Plants are living entities with consciousness and occupy space. Many biologists have revealed numerous mysteries about plant life, confirming that plants have consciousness, thinking, and a range of emotions like joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness, as well as supersensory abilities beyond human perception. Additionally, scientists' research subjects are not limited to plants. Many researchers have conducted similar experiments with eggs, vegetables, peas, and peanuts, achieving success in these experiments as well. By presenting these scientific findings, I want to illustrate that communication is possible between humans, plants, and animals. Extending this idea, humans can communicate with mountains, rivers, and insects. I have successfully communicated with insects myself. Furthermore, communication can occur with ancient people, people from the future, and if our consciousness can detect beings on other planets or in non-material worlds, we can communicate with them as well. We can communicate with gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, ghosts, and spirits. This is not alarmist or mystical, it is a fact. Did Jesus, Siddhartha Gautama, Muhammad, or Lao Tzu die? No, they are still there, and we can communicate with them. Many people's grandparents, parents, and relatives who have passed away are still present, and you can continue to communicate with them. It is merely a matter of time and space. Consciousness and thinking can transcend time and space. There is no such thing as death in life. I see them living well. We only need to shift our perception to understand this. I can express many things that Jesus and Sakyamuni did not say because I can fully enter their consciousness. If we face a stranger, we don't understand them, but as long as we communicate, we will gradually understand them, become familiar with them. If our thinking ability surpasses theirs, then we can clearly know what they are thinking in their heart, what they want to do. In the special abilities, there is a function called the power of knowing the minds of others, which seems very mysterious, but in fact, it's very simple. Once you enter the thoughts of others, you will know all the activities in their hearts. Communicating with insects is the easiest, followed by plants. You can try this yourself, it's very easy, and they will respond to your commands. Try entering the mind of someone close to you and ask them to perform some actions according to your thoughts. They will do it. When your thoughts are connected, your thinking becomes their thinking, and your consciousness becomes their consciousness. They will inevitably comply. One point to remember is that you must be sincere. You must genuinely care for them, love them as yourself, and love all life as yourself. Essence of sexuality, in response to Tiangong Celestial's question. Xiefeng. Question: I once practiced the integration of all practices exercise. In the advanced stages, the focus was nearly entirely on cultivating sexual energy, such as joy meditation and dual cultivation of yin and yang. I would like to ask the guide if nature here refers to sexual nature, and whether seeing one's nature and becoming a Buddha through nature implies sexual nature. Is it the same as the sexual nature we discuss in Life Genuine, or is there a difference? Please explain in detail. Answer: nature is structure. It is both the structure of all things and of life itself. The nature of all things, including all living beings, is determined by their structure. The structure determines the nature. The nature of water is different from that of a mountain. Human nature is distinct from animal nature, male from female, divine nature from Buddha nature, cloud nature from stone nature, sheep nature from wolf nature, night blooming jasmine from tulips, willow trees from peach trees, and so forth. Every entity's nature varies according to its structure. Every entity has a nature. As long as a structure exists, nature will emerge from it. Even objects created by humans possess a nature, as they all have structures. To change nature, the structure must first be altered. When the structure changes, so does the nature. In nature, alloys do not naturally occur, but when elements like carbon are added to certain metals, they form alloys, altering the original nature of the metal. Nature is Tathagata, which represents the intrinsic, original nature. All nature originates from the consciousness of the greatest creator, and thus, the creator is the source of all nature. Nature is diverse and multifaceted, but regardless of the different types of nature in the universe, their total quantity and quality balance to zero. This is similar to the 5 elements, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, which mutually generate and restrict one another, maintaining universal symmetry. If this balance is broken, the universe would perish. Who maintains this symmetrical balance? The answer is, the Tao. Human beings possess both heavenly nature and acquired habits. Heavenly nature is the original nature, while acquired habits are formed ingrained habits and behavior. Heavenly nature was established by the Creator, while acquired habits result from human choice. Cleansing acquired habits to return to heavenly nature aligns with the greatest Creator's Tao, which leads to peace and happiness. Love is the core of nature. Every nature inherently possesses love, determined by its structure. Different structures, and thus different natures, express love differently. There are three primary expressions of love: through giving, absorbing, or mutual benefit. Some insects and animals express love through giving, even at the cost of their lives, like certain spiders. Others, like wolves and birds, express love through absorption. Wolves eat sheep, and birds eat insects. Human love mainly combines both giving and absorbing, while only the celestial beings of the 10,000-year world and the Elysium world practice love as mutual benefit. You mentioned focusing on sexual energy cultivation in advanced practice, which is correct. Both the Taoist dual cultivation of yin and yang and the Tantric dual cultivation of male and female are correct. The true test of dual cultivation is mutual benefit. If both benefit, it is righteous, but if only one benefits, it is a deviation from the righteous path. Both advanced sexual energy cultivation and dual cultivation of yin and yang involve absorbing energy through sexuality. I have often said that consciousness, structure, and energy are the keys to uncovering all mysteries, and sexuality is no exception. That nature in sexuality is indeed the same as in seeing one's nature and attaining Buddhahood, and it is also the same nature we speak of in Life Genuine. The purpose of Life Genuine's crossing the river of sexuality aims to transcend patterns of giving or absorbing in sexual relationships, striving instead for mutual benefit. True dual cultivation for mutual benefit is a matter of intention and spirit, not physical contact or intercourse, and therein lies a profound mystery. Ultimately, all spiritual practices from all paths lead to Tathagata, to a return to simplicity, and to the restoration of heavenly nature. This is correct: wolves must eat sheep, and sheep must eat grass. If wolves stopped eating sheep or sheep stopped eating grass, it would go against heavenly nature and the Tao. Many practices advocate turning inward, essentially to rediscover one's heavenly nature or original nature. However, Life Genuine is different. We are not aiming to return to our original nature or to Tathagata, as this could reveal we were originally wolves or sheep. So, regardless of what one's original nature might have been, our goal is to cultivate the nature of super-celestial beings. How do we cultivate the nature of super-celestial beings? By transforming the non-material structure of human life into the non-material structure of super-celestial life. Once the structure is transformed, super-celestial nature is attained. How do we transform this structure? Through consciousness, by replacing human consciousness with super-celestial consciousness. And how do we develop this consciousness? Through transforming thinking, using thinking to attain wisdom. Both the Chanyuan corpus and Siafeng corpus revolve closely around cultivating super-celestial consciousness. Some sections of the Siafeng corpus may seem overly ornate or embellished. These serve to attract readers and test the faith and wisdom of Life Genuine members. That's my answer. Thank you for your question. Your question could also be considered a revelation of divine wisdom, allowing me to express profound truths in simple language. Thanks to your question, countless people will benefit from this wisdom, and this is a merit you have earned. This Q&A is of great importance and will be placed in the Advanced Cultivation section for everyone to reflect upon. Evening Sutra. Siafeng. As night falls, people become weary, both body and mind exhausted, as if struggling. The numerous worries of the day, each one tormenting and hastening the graying of hair. In the evening, one should relax the body and mind, but the TV and phone keep ringing non-stop. Neighbors come over or call out for something, all are worldly disturbances scratching at the heart. Karaoke bars, dance halls, mahjong, pai gao, and night markets flourish. Even casually picking up a magazine can incite and arouse emotions. Busy with worldly matters, families become strangers. Though under the same roof, your heart and mind remain unknown to each other. Supporting a family is truly not easy, and upholding the family honor is even more arduous. When asked why life is so full of suffering, Buddha smiles and answers, the root of all sufferings lies within the heart. The sea of suffering is boundless, and if the heart is confusing, it is because of the impurity of the six senses. When priorities are misplaced, both body and mind grow weary, and time slips away in ambiguity. Life is not about this, being confused by appearances is meaningless. Bodhidharma traveled 1,000 miles to the east, bearing the true holy intent of the ancestor of Buddha. In the face of emotions such as hate or love, one must relinquish what needs to be relinquished. Embracing tranquility, indifference, and non-attachment, one advances in the Buddha's realm during daily activities. The Buddha's land is not an illusory realm, its true forms reveal in the 33-dimensional space. Enlightening the mind and seeing one's nature is a daily practice, the journey to enlightenment and the true path of Bodhi begins. The supreme ruler of the universe, the greatest creator, is the same as the ancestor of Buddha and Allah. The Bible, Buddhist scriptures, and the Quran all lead to the same ultimate truth. Faith is not an empty feeling, it's like a lamp in the night. With devoted cultivation and sincere seeking, salvation comes when you least expect it. The great form has no shape, great talent takes time to develop. Sowing a seed in spring, reaping in autumn. Great wisdom seems foolish, its voice is rare, the supreme Tao is hidden without a name. A 9-story tower starts from a pile of earth, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A towering tree grows from tiny sprouts, trickling streams become rivers. Every thought, every idea, every action, every small influence has an effect. Every second, every minute, every moment, each moment is golden. A slight deviation can lead to a great error, light a heart lamp and you won't be lost. A clear mind and quiet heart lead to the path of heaven, a chaotic mind and restless heart lead to the gates of hell. Buddha's compassion guides the way, transforming me from within. Suddenly, the dark alley opens into a bright village and now, I start anew, step by step. Evidence of self-directed death. Dayform Buddha. June 15, 2006. I have shared with several Chanyuan celestials that humans have the ability to control their own life and death. If necessary, death can be completed through the power of the mind. However, before death, one must be clear about where to go afterward. When you thoroughly understand the heavenly realm you should reach and have repaid all debts of the human world after resolving all earthly attachments, you can decide the time to leave the human world at any moment. This may sound incomprehensible and incredible, but it is indeed true. As for how to control death, it involves the secrets of life genuine and will not be disclosed now, but you can gain insight from the facts below. Older Chanyuan celestials should contemplate this issue carefully, read this article seriously, and seek a perfect conclusion in their practice and cultivation. The selected article below includes a story about a white mouse, illustrating that life only holds hope when a direction is determined. Life Genuine has clearly pointed out the direction of life and revealed the principles of understanding one's destination after death and how to reach the ideal shore through the 8 levels of thinking and the 8 major mysteries of life. This should be deeply contemplated. Evidence from science. Where does the human mind come from? Can the mind be naturally produced within the human body? For a long time, people believed that the mind was naturally produced by the brain. To answer how the human mind differs from that of animals, it was necessary to find the fundamental differences between the human brain and animal brains. Many scientists devoted their lives to seeking evidence, but later scientific research proved that much of this evidence was flawed. The average weight of the human brain is about 1,300 grams, but this does not signify much. Larger animals have proportionally larger brains. For example, an elephant's brain weighs about 4,000 grams, and a whale's brain weighs about 7,000 grams. Later, people invented the method of comparing brain volume to body weight to explain the origin of the mind. However, this method proved to be ineffective. Look at the data. Humans are 138, whales are 1:2500, elephants are 1:500, and gorillas are 1:100. Humans seem to have an advantage, yet a white mouse is 126, a gibbon is 128, and a sparrow is 134, all superior to humans in this aspect, but they do not possess a mind. With the further development of brain science, it seemed that humans had finally discovered the source of the mind, the many convolutions of the human brain, causing the mind to flow like spring water from mountain valleys. The surface area of the human brain's hemispheres is about 2,250 square centimeters, equivalent to the size of a large newspaper, while the surfaces of mouse and rabbit brains are relatively flat. This seems reasonable. However, scientists soon discovered that dolphins in the ocean have brain convolutions that are no less than humans and even more. If we judged the richness of the mind based on brain convolutions alone, the result would likely not favor humans but rather an unexpected animal. Some people believe that the number of brain cells in humans exceeds that of other animals. Evolutionary biologists have pointed out that the human frontal lobe is much larger than that of other primates, suggesting it to be the source of our creative thinking and language abilities. However, scholars at the University of Iowa believe that the size of the human frontal lobe is not significantly different from that of other primates. Researchers Marsh and Semendeferi at Iowa scanned some primates, including humans, using magnetic resonance imaging and measured the size of each brain part. They found that the human frontal lobe is not markedly different from that of primates. Gorillas have 31.7%, chimpanzees 36.1%, and humans 36.8%. Chimpanzees have 5.4% more than gorillas but are not significantly smarter. Humans only have 0.7% more than chimpanzees but are much smarter. Thus, the size of the frontal lobe does not explain much.